Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Let me make sure that we are actually live over on my personal YouTube account. I just realized that was a horrible attempt at a non North American accent, and uh I beg the indulgence of anybody who had to listen to that because that was terrible. Let's make sure that we're live. Okay, that's weird. Okay, I think we're live. Seeing people in the chat. Hello, guys. Welcome. Yes, let's do this. Hello. Hello to Ottawa. Hello. Yeah. Well, I just realized it had been a long time, seemingly, probably not actually that long. When was the last time I was live? I think we were talking about Lula Rich. So it's been like a month or so. I just realized it had been a while. I'm gonna be totally honest on a very superficial level. I want to see I know we have a couple of channel members and I want to see if they show up like what it looks like because I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. Um, and I just thought we could hang out. I asked for some topics and got some interesting suggestions. Most notably, the first one that somebody suggested was the whole NFT situation with certain YA authors. So we'll talk about that. Actually, I should bring up while we're letting everybody get into the chat, I should see what the other suggestions for topics were. But yeah, I just thought we could, hang. It's been a hot minute. And we'll see how it goes. Okay. Number one comment. Yeah, hey Mara, since you discussed the MLM disaster of LuLaRoe, maybe this realms of ruined fanfiction controversy since it's basically the MLM of the book community. Agreed. So that is from Kay. And then I've got a couple of other suggestions here. So we'll start there, I guess, once everybody gets in here today. So, hello to Australia, Boston, Ottawa. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me, the bee's knees. I need to post about Heart of Obsidian episode because I had so much fun just gushing in that. So I need to post about that. Hello. Yes, it's been a while. We're Indiana. Let's see here. Yeah, I know. Lula Rich, it's been a while. Hello to NC channel. No, I did two different. I posted it in both. I know some people don't like Patreon and some people don't like joining YouTube memberships, so I did like half and half. I don't know. You guys can let me know if that makes sense, but that was the thought process there. But I posted it in both places, so hello to book people. Oh my gosh, yes, I did not have it on my bingo card that lady was gonna get a major motion picture adaptation. Good lord. Oh, hey, Alexa, and I literally don't understand NFTs. Well, I'm not gonna say that I'm, like, awesome on NFTs, but I am the person in my friend group people come to when they need investment advice only because, like, I'm your surly Aunt Sally who's, like, very conservative with investments, so I'm like, "Here's what you need to do to make sure you don't lose your shirt." So we'll see, but yeah, NFT in general, like, I have extreme side eye at, especially, um, especially when it's influencers trying to get their followers to do it. I don't know. So, oh, I know, Alexa. We were talking about Bad Art Friend, and that was right when I was having surgery. So, yeah, I guess that could also come up. Yeah, guys, I just don't even know. So, hello to High Point. Yeah. Apple crumble. Yum. I love that. Um, oh my gosh. This is like music to Alexa's ears. I'm sure I had to pause the Ivies to jump into this chat. She's loving it. Great. Ah, bringing people together. Okay. So what we'll start with, um, we'll start with the NFT and we'll see how many other things we get to. But um, in terms of like why anyone wants them to exist, we'll get there. Okay. I'm going to show you guys a TikTok that I actually thought did a really good job of summarizing in 3 minutes what this is. So I'm going to attempt to share this with you. I've never tried to share a tab with sound. So maybe let me see if I can pull up. Like, I'm trying to get my personal YouTube up so that I can watch and double check that it is doing what it's supposed to be doing. I don't know. Okay, just a second. I'm going to mute myself so I don't blast your ears out. Just 1 second. Hold, please. Okay, I have myself brought up on my other channel or my personal account. Do other people do this? I have like my personal account that I use where I have like YouTube Premium and stuff. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna share. I'm on a live reading sprint. You're busted, Heather. Okay, so let's share screen. Let's do a tab.
I guess we should talk about the YA authors launching.
Did you guys hear the sound that just happened? Yes, no? Yes, no, maybe so? Yes, Kay, they are terrible for the environment. That's something else entirely. Like, even aside from anything else, the ethics of that are bad. Okay, I'm gonna push play. We'll see if the sound works. Just a second.
Launching a fanfiction NFT. Well, I guess we should talk about the YA authors launching a fanfiction NFT Ponzi scheme. Because I thought I was going to talk more about Cinderella today, but there's YA authors launching an NFT fanfiction Ponzi scheme. The project is called Realms of Ruin, and the authors involved are Marie Lu, Tahira Mafi, Ransom Riggs, Adam Silvera, and David and Nicole Yoon. If you're not really plugged into the YA world, these are big names. In general, their works have sold a lot of copies and been very influential, and they're all very active in the YA community. They just announced the project today. It's not launching until, I think, the second week of November, and I feel like I do have to put an asterisk at the end of calling it a Ponzi scheme because there is just so little information out about how this project is going to operate, and the information that is out is very vague and confusing and sometimes contradictory. But what we have so far points to this being a sort of pyramid-shaped scam of some kind. And usually if your project is not an MLM, it's very easy and very quick to just say that it isn't and show why it's not. So all that's really on the site right now is this incredibly generic and cliched setup for like a YA fantasy. And it's very confusing, but the idea, as near as I can tell, is that it's going to sort of be like a fan fiction host site where users, primarily teens, this is targeted at teens and young people, will upload their own works, and membership in the community and ownership of these works is going to be facilitated by NFTs. So it seems like they're trying to create this sort of fandom that's going to run on the buying and selling of NFTs for characters and for works. And then there is the carrot that these authors can elevate certain works to canon. I think the thing that really pinged people's MLM detectors is this line about the fact that more people joining is what's going to cause what you have to rise in value in a sort of pyramid-shaped fashion. Every part of this idea is so shockingly bad and is being so poorly received online that I just can't understand how this even got to this stage. This idea of creating and hands-on managing an artificial fandom that isn't built around any actual existing property, but is just like spoken into existence. And the idea that authors of an unrelated property declaring your fan fiction canon is like somehow an aspiration for writers. It shows a complete lack of understanding of how fan culture works that just baffles me. And that's not even addressing the fact that they are basically asking teens to buy into this project where they're going to hand their creative works over to these authors for them to profit from, with the hope that maybe the teens will also profit from them by having NFTs, which legally they're not even supposed to buy. Well, I guess we should talk about the YA authors launching a fanfiction NFT Ponzi scheme, because I thought I was going to talk more about Cinderella today, but
Okay. I think that gives you what you need to know. I'm gonna pin the username of the gal who made that TikTok just to give her credit in the chat. So, okay. Like my opinion on this, I feel like is not very different than most of the internet's opinion about this, but like let's come at this just like purely from like Auntie Mara worried about you losing money. Um, the number one rule of investing is that if you don't understand an investment, you should not make it. Or if you're going to make it, it should only be with money that you don't mind losing. So like if and when you go to the casino, my assumption is that like the money you're taking to spend at the casino is fun money. Like be it $20, be it $1,000. It's money that you're assuming like basically you're paying to have fun. So like anything that has to do with like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or NFT, I'm not saying that they are intrinsically scams. Like I do think that that's one thing the internet might be getting slightly wrong about this. It is not necessarily a scam, but in the sense that the people who are being marketed to invest in it just fundamentally do not understand the investment they're making. That to me is what makes it scammy, because to be able to actually make money from things like these new kinds of investments, you have to be a pretty sophisticated investor, I think. And the way that these are pitched is get rich quick, of like, let's, like GameStop style, like, let's ride this to the top kind of a thing. Oh, this is a good item. What is an NFT? An NFT stands for non-fungible token, I believe is the acronym. And basically it's like the unique right to a digital work. So like for instance, people have been selling NFTs for like iconic memes on the internet. So like even though 1,000 people might have a digital copy of something online, like a digital artwork or graphic, or in this case, fan fiction. Um, Even though other people may have copies to it, it is like the digital deed basically for that artwork. So anyway, all that to say, like my problem with this is the same problem I have with a lot of influencer related kind of, I mean, scam, I feel like is slightly too strong, because like I said, I think that if you are l- a a financially literate investor, and I would not even put, I literally have an accounting degree, like I have a degree in business and in money, and I would not consider myself to be well equipped enough to make a good investment of this kind. Um but like there are people who are well equipped enough to make these kinds of investments. My problem is that it's influencers, or in this case authors, using their influence to get their followers to put money into something that they have a strong feeling they're going to not get back. Or in this scenario, they're basically using their subscribers' work to generate money. And so like that's the problem that I have with this. And just again, and in general, like if you see an influencer you like telling you to invest in a Bitcoin, etc., like they are taking advantage of their fan base, and that is a scummy thing to do. And I'm not down with that. So like that's my general feeling, is like to me this falls kind of under that general umbrella of I don't know. It does not seem to be using your influence for good. Now, I will have an unpopular opinion about this. So I guess this is where my hot take is. I don't actually think that the overall setup of this is like the worst idea I've ever heard of. Like putting myself back into like 16-year-old Mara's shoes, if there was an author I loved who set up like a proprietary website, like maybe you had to pay like a membership fee or something to be able to get into this world and like get access to the things that were being created there, and your favorite your favorite author was going to like pick their top 3 favorites of the month or whatever. Like I think that there's a world where that could be a cool idea, but I think this version of it where we have authors who are profiting off of the work of their underage fan, like that just doesn't feel that feels like not the move to me. Um so yeah, let's see what you guys think about this. Yeah, this is a good here we go. Is speculative. It's intended to be currency, but people are using it as speculation. I mean, like again, I think that there's a world where the idea, especially behind things like Bitcoin, is we're not currently using it as currency, but there's a thought that eventually we will. Um, I mean, there's a lot of people who are a lot smarter than me who genuinely seem to think that this is going to happen. I think from an environmental perspective, it doesn't seem to be the move. If you don't know, part of the problem is that to continue to generate like I'm not even going to attempt to give a technical description of this, but like the underlying technology mechanism by which Bitcoin works requires a tremendous amount of energy and computing power. So just like from the standpoint of like we're living on a dying planet, the idea of us like getting in on something that's going to like further, hasten our environmental downfall, like that just doesn't feel like a great idea. But what do I know? Let's see here. When I put fanfic like set up materials, like putting my author Bible of my world out there as an NFT, which is I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. It's both taking advantage of the user generated content for profit and also like a weird, I don't even know. Let's see here. What's bonkers to me is Marie Lu was in fandom and should have known it was sketch. Just from a fan fiction canon pay to play aspect, the fan fiction part jumps out at me. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not big on like AO3 or anything, but like, fanfiction.net back in the day, that didn't seem like the whole thing is that it is free. Yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, trying to push NFTs in the art world, and it's only benefiting fitting well-known artists anyway. It doesn't help most artists. Yeah. Now I would love I hope that the guy who's the star of the her sister was a witch Vine or meme or whatever that is. I hope he has an NFT and has made some money off of it. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, number one rule of fan fiction fandom is no money exchanges hands or it gets hinky. And that's the thing, it's also taking advantage of teens, which is just like, come on now. Come on now. Um Great community policing. Literary Hub had an interesting article on NFTs and authors writing works intentionally for NFT sales. Would you guys like to see a kitty? Hey, Hastings. Let's see here. So I'm not that surprised. I guess that some have tried to capitalize on fan fiction. It is an interesting, like, I mean, aside from the ethics of it, it's like, yeah, I guess this makes sense that somebody was going to try to do this. Oh, you want to chew on that book so bad. I would say that he and I have a discussion like twice a day about how he can't chew on the books that are up here. Hey, buddy. Yeah, he's such a good boy. You know that? You're such a good boy. Um, so I guess like just from a detached standpoint, it's like, yeah, it does make sense that somebody would try to do this. Yeah, that actually is a great parallel to the those back in the day art contests for quote unquote exposure. Like exposure to who for what? Like what? Yeah, I feel like a membership fee is at least you like there's a clear exchange happening and like I'm clearer on what the value proposition is, so it feels less sketchy. Um, oh my gosh, thank you, Jess. Also, speaking of Auntie Mara, it is 2:30 in the morning your time, and you need to be in bed. um, let's see here. Yeah, if you get in first, you can make money, which is why it's so sus for influencers to tell their followers to invest. Which there's been a lot of videos I feel like recently exposing this, but if you don't know what's happening a lot, like I think Jake Paul, this seems like something Jake Paul would do, but let's say allegedly, because I can't remember for sure if he's one of the influencers that did this. But what some of these influencers will do is they will tell their followers, like, oh, go buy such and such stock. They're already holding a certain amount of it. Their followers will go buy a bunch of stock, so it will drive the price up. And then before the bottom falls out of it and it starts to drop again, the influencer will sell everything that they bought. And so they're making money. And then their followers are left potentially holding the bag if they don't get out before the bottom drops out. So, I just, yeah, it's a new way to take advantage of people, which is just the name of the game. Oh, thank you. Related to intellectual properties. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like IP in general. This is where it's like I know. So I'll try to remember to link this. Slate Money did a whole podcast on NFTs, and they're generally pretty reasonable people. And like I tend to. I mean, I don't agree with every single opinion they have, but like they seem to be like well-informed, reasonable people who seem to think that NFTs are maybe not intrinsically a scam. I'm just like really not clear on how that's the case, but like people smarter than me in these areas seem to think um, that maybe it's not. So I don't know. We will see. Um, yeah. I mean, yeah. Especially, I mean, it's not like the authors who were involved in this particular scam are like obscure, people hustling. It's like, I think these are pretty successful individuals. So, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Make something digital that you can't copy paste. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the fact that this is going towards young people, it's like, ooh, that just seems hella sketch. Um, Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm under no illusions that people will actually curb consumption in order to preserve the planet. I think we've all learned that that's, not doesn't seem to be something we have the collective will to combat. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It feels like I don't know. This is one of those things where it makes you wonder if people are surrounded by yes people. Um, and there's just no one to tell them no. So I don't know. Oh my gosh, yes, the Ace Family marketed gambling game to their mostly child audience, and, like, Rice Gum and Jake Paul, don't you remember, like, they did those, like yeah, basically, it was a gambling game where you could, like, win big prizes sometimes or something, and, like, almost all their followers are kids, so, yeah, people are hella sketchy. Yes, kitty cats. That cat that you saw was Hastings, who is still inspecting the whole room right now, making sure that everything is to his standards in order. Imagine if this had continued with copyright ambiguities and the work created got optioned for a film or TV. That seems like kind of like a great law school exam hypothetical for like copyright case or copyright law. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think that could have been an absolute mess. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's who knows? I mean, we'll find out, I guess. Or we won't find out, I guess, because it's not going anywhere. The difference between, say, Bitcoin and the US dollar is that the dollar is backed legally by the full faith and credit of the US government. The dollar ever fully crashes, the internet isn't going to be up and running. Scams like Bitcoin and NFT are like I liked getting folks to quote unquote invest in unicorns. Some people will make money, but it can't last once folks wake up. Yeah. I mean, like somebody said, a lot of people are making money if they get in early, but it's like by the time it gets to Joe Blow, how many of Joe Blow are actually making money? Like, I don't know. It's just It's just sketchy as hell, I think. Yeah, Smokey Glow did talk about that, I think today or yesterday. Cody Ko has done some videos about it. There's, I think, more and more people. Simply Nailogical on her podcast has talked about this. Like, I think there's a lot of people, um, kind of like more responsible voices in influencer communities who are sort of piping up and saying like, "Hey, this is sketchy as hell. Like, maybe don't take advantage of your massive fan base and cause them to lose money." Yeah, I don't know. Um, I think it's good to find more ways to buy and sell digital goods. I used to make my living making virtual clothes, but NFTs seem to be a thing where people don't necessarily want. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm all for digital goods. Um, how to say this in a way that doesn't get too into the weeds of my day job. Basically, a portion of my day job is thinking about digital payments and like how to move money around digitally, with as little friction as possible to end user consumers. So, like, I think that there's a lot of room to make those experiences better. Um, and I don't know. I mean, like, there are a lot of smart people who seem to think something like Bitcoin is going to be a thing at some point. Uh, I just I don't think we're there yet. It may be the future, but the future is not now. And so I have a lot of I'm like, there's some very I mean, Mark Cuban just lost I forget how much, but he lost a shit ton of money in Bitcoin that he was like hyping up to people and like was like, "Oh, sorry, that was my bad." Like people who I mean, not that he's like the know all be all and end all of investing, but like he's at least a very literate investor. And like, people who have some basis by which to make educated decisions about this are still losing a lot of money. So I just am very I tell you should again, Auntie Mara's advice, never invest in something that you yourself do not understand fully unless it's money that you're okay with losing. Like if it's purely speculative, like if you, I don't know, you get $100 for your birthday or something and just for fun you want to invest it in something like a Bitcoin or whatever. Yeah, I mean, like if you're okay if you go into it knowing it's to some degree speculation, I think that's fine. But I'm like, please don't put like real money that you need in something that you yourself do not understand. That is just I want I want only good things for you. I want you to know and be confident that you understand, like, where your money is and how your money is working for you. Does that make sense? Um, yeah. Why someone needs to have a digital I mean, like, kind of same. It's like, yeah, I guess if it's gonna be used, if you're gonna license it in some way, but I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Literary did they not run this by, like, their agents or managers or anybody who was like, "I don't know," or, like, legal? I'm just sitting here, like, from a regulatory perspective, like, did nobody I don't know. I don't know. Um, okay, here's a short story recommendation, Byzantine Empathy by Ken Liu. I think they heard the word NFT and saw dollar signs without fully understanding it, which, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, I feel like this is a good like hypothetical thing. Uh yeah, that's fair. Um yeah, Derek, these are who's enforcing the ownership again, like I don't know. And this is part why I think it's kind of I just don't know. Um this is very real. I've seen TikTok saying that and I was like, "Yes, I think that this is sort of like an MLM for tech bros." Um yeah. Let's see here. Huge right now. Yeah. And again, like if people kind of know that it's speculative, then I think that's fine. You know what I mean? Like if you know that you're kind of speculating on something, I think that's okay. Copyright would be with the original writer, not the fanfic writer, especially if they're underage. Yeah. Sketchy AF. Well, welcome. Let's see here. Um yeah. Hmm. I've heard authors are liable for lawsuits just by admitting they've read a fan fiction and their work emulates it. So I don't know what the copyright business would have ever been with this, but it's fan fiction of work they created. So I don't know. Um, I don't know. I mean, universal income. That yeah. Watching doing live on the eyes of Tammy Faye. Possibly. I'll take that under advisement. I've never seen I mean, I know of that movie, but I've never seen it. Um, yeah. The fact that they did a pre-launch where at least one of the team didn't understand US and not even the minimum when this was gonna be international copyright law. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I should say, all of my advice comes from the fact that I am very risk adverse. So, I'm somebody very, like I wanna know where my money is, and I wanna make sure that it's there. Like, my best friend, still mocks me endlessly to this day because when I was taking what I felt like was this big risk in moving with a certain amount of money, she was like, "I literally thought you were about to tell me you had a tenth of that, and I was gonna tell you you should still do it." So, like, yeah. So, I am very, very conservative about, like, such matters. So take this with a grain of salt. Um, some people are like savers, some people are spenders. I am intrinsically like a little squirrel. Like I want all of my nuts in my oak tree ready for me for when the winter comes. So, um, yeah, exactly. Hire. This is another a good plug to hire professionals if you're able to. Um, like yeah there's financial planners oftentimes I know our work has this and I think a lot of places are starting to have this like they'll have like certified financial planners that you have access to as a benefit for work So that's also worth investing or like looking into to see if your work has any resources like that. If you work for a bigger company, um, yeah, professionals are always very helpful. Like a good accountant and a good lawyer are things that come in handy uh, frequently. So also they shut it down so quickly, like they must have realized it was shady but went live anyway because the posts were deleted by everyone so quick. Yeah, they seemed to get on board with the fact that it was like not a good idea. It's kind of, like when sometimes I'll write an email for work, and as soon as I hit send, I realize like, oh, there's 10 things wrong with this email, but you can't see it until you sent it. I feel like it might have been sort of like that, where it was like you couldn't really see the problems until it was out there. I don't know. I think crypto and NFT is at a tech bubble stage, like almost everything going to be gone, but changing. Yeah, like I think that's probably true. But I'm again pretty conservative when it comes to investing, so I'm gonna wait for the bubble to burst, and when it like gets less less like the Wild West, I'll come back in. Um, yeah, banks and like bigger institutions in some ways are like okay, but here's another just like side note. I know I brought this up in the Lula Rich thing, but I think the average consumer is vastly overestimating how advanced enterprise level technology is for most companies. Like, how to say this? So I've been a consultant, so I have seen how a lot of very large businesses operate and the kind of technology they have to operate with. And I think this is part of why it like cracks me up when people talk about like when conspiracy theorists talk about the level of infiltration or um sophistication of certain large institutions or entities because enterprise level technology is often operating at a lag behind I think what people think it is. All that to say, I think people think that a lot of this stuff is more sophisticated than it really is, and I think that there's a lot of shysters who can spin a lot of jargon to make things sound a certain way that like if you're not in that world might seem plausible but is actually just like pure hucksterism. Does that make sense? I just anyway, side note, that's probably um yeah, there you go. Oh, I didn't even see her initial snark. Um yeah, this is for real. If you have a job with a 401k, you're forced to participate in the stock market, but financial literacy is not pushed in schools. This is where we could get into like a full tangent on how it does not behoove many larger groups' interests for the majority of people to be financially literate, but that's another. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. That is what allows. But like just functionally how many people are worried about it being unique, that's more my thing. Yeah. Regulations are way way behind on all this stuff too. Mhm. Mhm. Yay, I'm so glad that you're rereading it. It is one of my all-time favorite books. Um I wonder how many people had been involved in the development of this scheme before it was announced, like how much real planning was done. I mean, it was like a full-on website and stuff, so it seems like it doesn't seem like it was like a bunch of, we all got drunk one night at Marie Lou's house and said like, "Hey, let's do this," and the next day just went for it. It seemed like there had been some level of planning that had gone into this, so I don't know. Um yeah. This is more just around like again, this is like a full-on tangent into different topic, but this gets into like the whole business model of Robinhood, which I really have a problem with. Basically, the entire business model of Robinhood is to incentivize people to trade frequently and impulsively. And that's more kind of like where I think financial literacy could be helpful because like I just think or people just if people had like a true awareness of the fact that they are gambling. Like I think there's a lot of I'm going to call it dude bros, but this could be of either gender, but just like that type. Well, like maybe let's call them well actually people. I think there's a lot of well actually people who think that they can game the stock market in a way that I just don't think the vast majority of people can. Um, so that's more where I think financial literacy could be helpful of like, hey, if you think that you're, you're going to be able to like beat the system, probably not. Like, just probably not. Grab some spiders and hold on to them. That would be my advice to anybody who wants to get in the stock market. Makes people feel like this is going to happen again with people who will have better execution. I think you're probably not wrong. So we'll see if and when that comes to be. I mean, they had a whole website and Discord planned out. Apparently, it was Marie's friend who works with NFTs or somebody who came up with it. Interesting. So I guess maybe lesson learned, don't let your friends talk you into something. It's not a great idea. So many people like me can't understand basic stocks and their taxes, so basic financial literacy would have been very helpful. Yeah, I mean, even just like simple tax planning kinds of things. Um, yeah, there's a lot that I think could be helpful for people, but it's not really a priority. So just finished Handmaid's Tale. How much what have I read? I've read a few things from her. I'm gonna be honest, like I've never just like fully loved something from her. Now, one of my best friends loves her. Like she used her as like her high school uh in our English class you had to like have a thesis your senior year, like a mini thesis, and she used Margaret Atwood as her author for that. So she loves her. I've never fully connected with her. There's also she's been in the shit this week as well. Um, so I'm waiting to see how some of that pans out to find out if I'm ever gonna really read much more from her. But um, I know I'm in the minority of not just loving The Handmaid's Tale. But for me, it felt like I love the message of it, but the book itself wasn't necessarily my favorite. If that makes sense. So yeah. So I think that covers the NFT nonsense slash shenanigans.
Okay,
What?
but
Oop. Let's see if I can find where the other suggestions were. Yeah, Eric, I 100% agree with this. Just think it's useful to know that if you F up, you will be punished. Like if you as an individual F up, you're going to lose your shirt, but the banks can like big institutional lenders and players in the markets can F up and they are not going to have to pay the price for their failings the way that individuals will. And yeah, I think that that is a very important lesson. Um, let's see here. Okay, what were some of these other topics? I would love to hear about your fall winter plans and any reading channel plans you have before the end of the year. Thank you to Grace for that suggestion. Um, Fall winter plans or reading plans. Well, I do have a plan for winter to learn how to sew. I'm very excited about that. I bought a sewing machine and I bought all the accoutrement to learn how to hand sew. So I'm really excited for that. Um, yeah, that's like my big that's gonna be like my winter project. I'm gonna listen to audiobooks and learn how to sew. Um, my family is gonna come here for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, so I'm excited. I've never had them come to me for these holidays, so that's exciting. We're making plans to, do some fun Nashville Christmas things. And I've not seen my sister or my nieces in almost 2 years because of the pandemic and because I, um, can't really drive long distances right now because of my autoimmune disease. So, I'm very excited to see them. I'm trying to think if I've got any like other I'm so boring, guys. It's awful. I mean, the reality is until some of my autoimmune disease stuff is managed, it's like I don't know. I don't know. I've struggled to articulate this, but I was talking about this the other day with someone of like I'm in this weird space where it's like it's very hard for me to even picture what my life is going to look like in like 4 months. So it's very hard for me to like really make plans of any kind or really think about the future. In some ways it's very good for my anxiety because I'm sort of forced to just live in the present pretty intensely. Um but I don't know. Like I just don't feel like I have a lot of plans because I don't even know like yeah, I don't feel like I can really make a lot of plans. So, yeah, I feel like that's a very boring answer to that, but in terms of reading, Blades and Bodice Ripper Book Club next month is Sort of Summer, which I've already read. That was my pick, which is a Uncle Rick book. And then I'm reading Witchmark for that in December. And then me and Leanna are going to buddy read The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb in December. But I've completed all of my ARC reading for 2021. I'm going to start on my 2022 ARC reading here shortly. But I don't have to I don't have a lot of plans, just period in general. So there you go. Oh, yeah, and the ballroom. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I do not have an ARC in the ballroom. Candlestick. Oh, I need to put that on my list. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did it already get published? Did I just totally miss this? Oh, I didn't for some reason, I didn't think it was coming out till next year. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I will be buying a copy of that and reading it because yes, I am excited for that. So I totally forgot that. That one just slipped through the cracks for me. Oh, yay! I'm glad you enjoyed my Heart of Obsidian episode. Yes, it was basically just an hour of me like having the best time talking about this book. I agree, Slave to Sensation and Kiss of Snow are the best ones. But I love Heart of Obsidian so much. It's so good. Ah, it's my whole heart. I love it beyond reason. Um, oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, I learned how to like do a basic hem kind of a thing, but I think it'll be fun. Well, Jess, if you want to be mediocre sewing buddies in addition to being mediocre watercolor buddies, we can do that. Oh, I hope you enjoy Cultish. The kitties don't meet new people. So Hastings will now so I have my best friend stays with me once a week. because she comes into town for business once a week. And he will now like come out and smell her, but like they don't see people. So my family is in a different part of Tennessee, so they're like 3 hours away. Yeah. Most anticipated books of 2022. If I had to pick just one, I guess the one that comes to mind is Ruby Fever, because it's the conclusion of the second Hidden Legacies trilogy from Alona Andrews. Or I think it's called Fevered Star, which is the sequel to Black Sun from Rebecca Roanhorse. I'm very excited about both of those. Yeah, I'd say those are probably the two that come to mind. Expecting yeah. I like, so this month's, in case you guys didn't know, no, this Saturday, sorry, time is fluid, I have no idea. This Saturday, our book club is on Amanda the Naughty Librarian's channel, and it is The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. And I actually quite liked this, but I will not be surprised if it is a divisive book. So, Kiss of Snow, it is really good. That is an excellent choice for best book. Let's see here. Another suggested conversation is if people collect, what they collect and why. I'm curious about how you make decisions in terms of what you elect to collect and what other people do. Well, I don't know if you know this, but I collect books. So that is definitely my main thing I collect. Do I collect anything else? I'm trying to think if I really am a collector of anything else. Not really. Really, it's mostly the books. I enjoy, so my collection is based on things that I think I will either reread or things that I think I will reference on the channel. It's actually going to be interesting. I mean, I'm sure someday I will, not do this channel anymore. I'm sure that will be many moons from now, but I don't imagine that I will be 70 and still doing this. So it'll be interesting to see if my perspective on what books I want to own shifts at that point. But I tend to prefer hardbacks over paperbacks because hardbacks last longer, in my opinion. And I am a sucker for a nice cover. I like matching covers when I can get them. We talked about this in my book things that annoy me. Some of the things that annoy me are like series that do not match anymore. I do not enjoy that. So yeah, I guess, I mean, and then how do I choose if I mean, if I give something a 4-star, often that means that I would like a physical copy of it, but not always. If I give something a 4.5 or a 5, I pretty much am for sure gonna want a physical copy of it if I can get it. Yeah, I don't know. You guys can let me know if you have other philosophies on how you collect. Literally sitting here embroidering a pouch that says buying craft supplies and using them for 2 different hobbies. I feel that on a very deep level. Buying books and reading them are also 2 different hobbies. So they're related, but they are not the same thing. I say as I literally am looking at the bookcase that is only books I have not yet read. So love that for me. People who collect Disney items, there you go. I saw a very interesting thread yesterday from Jenny Nicholson on like how awful the new changes to Disney theme park pricing is this year, but I do not have opinions about this. Oh, people are agreeing with Ursula about hoarding of craft supplies. Now that I'm going to learn how to sew, I probably am going to be in this boat too. I had to hold myself back. I was going to invest in this like very big elaborate sewing table setup, and I decided instead I have like a very small, like 3-person table in my house, and I've been meaning to get like an actual dining room table at some point. So I allowed myself to get that as my sewing table since it will have a uh, a proper place to, you know, like measure and cut things. But I almost was buying like, oh, okay, I'll have like these drawers and ba 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 ba, and I held myself back from that, but we'll see. Um, since it's so popular at the moment, I'm curious whether you've read Dune and what your thoughts were. Dune is not my thing. Um, I may see I'm interested in seeing the movie, but like the book, I have -5 interest in reading. So, especially after Leanna did she didn't even give Dune a bad review, she just gave it, like, a mediocre review, and she had like, her comments were awful. So, like, I just don't feel the need to expose myself to that for something that I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna love, so, yeah. I may see the movie, and I mean, Oscar, like, he is looking he is looking great. There's a just yeah. I don't understand. Okay, sorry. This I feel like is somewhat superficial and also shaming. No shame to Timothy Chalamet, um, or Chevrolet, as I saw him referred to once in a TikTok. Um, hey, be nice. Hastings is chewing on my toe. He's so cute. Oh, why are cats so adorable? I can't even handle it. Oh, okay, sorry. Focusing. Timothy Chevrolet. I don't understand him as a figure of desire or um lust. Like, there's a book for every reader and a reader for every book. I'm sure that is also true in terms of like being attracted to people, like different strokes for different folks, but I just don't understand it. So like that's not going to do it for me, but like good old Oscar, good old Jason Momoa, down for that. So if nothing else, like it seems like I'll have nice things to look at. Um I also saw in the same TikTok where they called him Timothy Chevrolet, they also said that he had a head shaped like a Dorito, and I was like, well, I can't unsee that now. So let's see here. I also Jenny Nicholson is awesome. I'm on her Patreon, so I enjoy her rambles. Yeah, I'm doomed. I'm gonna start hoarding all these supplies. Yeah, exactly. That's me too. Like, I have all these watercolor supplies and I watercolor some, but not as much as, the amount of supplies I have probably warrants, but there you go. Get irrationally increasing all the shelf space at chapters dedicated to the Dune books. James Patterson. Yeah, Timothy Chevrolet. It's a good name. Movie was very aesthetically pleasing and well done. I was thrown by the fact there was zero levity. Maybe it was the influx of Marvel Star Wars, but I was always waiting for a joke. Dune is not I don't think Dune is something that will take itself lightly. Like, I think Dune seems to be a very self-serious property, so that doesn't surprise me. Oh, Oscar. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm just too old to get the appeal. He is a very good actor. Timothy Chevrolet is a very good actor. There you go. Had a French accent, but apparently he doesn't. Okay. Jason Momoa can get it. I mean, yeah. Yeah, he's just too young for me. Maybe that's the problem. But Leonardo DiCaprio was at least like a pretty boy, and I don't really see that with Timothy Chevrolet. I don't know. Um, yeah, he's very charismatic. I thought he was great in Little Women. Like, he's a very good actor, no question about that. I just mean like purely as like a teen sex idol. I don't understand. But um lanky figure. Hollywood loves him. Oh, looks like Oh, you were so wrong, Jess. Oh, okay, let's read. Let's spin that for I think Jess just won the chat. Yeah, I needed that. Had a long day. Okay. Sorry, that really tickled me. Oh, okay. Um, Same age as Megan the Stallion? Oh, Megan the Stallion would, like, squish him like a bug. Oh, man. Ooh, I needed that laugh, guys. It was a long day. Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Yeah, I would snap him like a twig. It's bad. Yeah, this is my problem, how smart Dune is and how they are by proxy. Yeah, this is part of why I don't think I'm gonna I don't need that. Um, Very specific thin art boy aesthetic. Yeah, exactly. He's like pretty boy. Timothy Chevrolet is more like e-boy kind of a vibe. Um, yeah, he again, very good actor. Oh man, Jess, yeah, you you got me with that. I love Megan the Stallion. Yeah, I would yeah, squash him like an ant. Touche. Um, yeah, using her thighs to prop Timmy's little hand head on his neck. You know, the thing is that there is like a fanfic somewhere on the internet. There's a fan fiction of that. Um, Seem to okay, yeah, that's another one where, like, I get the Harry Styles thing in terms of, like, he seems very cool, but but I feel like he's a little bit more of a pretty boy. I can at least see it a little bit more. He was never, like, my type in his peak, but, you know, The Good Place, who's got Victorian sick boy. Yeah, exactly. He feels like he, has, like, consumption or, like, the black lung. Team you probably have had a Tisha phase reminds me of a bit of D-Rad. Preternaturally mature, kind of weird. Yeah. It's gonna snap up Timothy Chalamet. He'll never be seen again. He does seem like he would be a Tim Burton kind of dude. Hi, buddy. He like Hastings right now is so intensely like grooming every nook and cranny of his left back paw. Like, it will never be cleaner than it is right now. Yeah, T-Chev, yeah. Timothy Chevrolet, I'm telling you. Playing Willy Wonka. Yeah, I think he definitely fits that vibe. Speaking okay, well, we're just random, and it's also October, Halloween. Does anybody else love the Tim Burton version of Sleepy Hollow? Like, I am obsessed with that movie. I was obsessed when it first came out, and it's like I love it. Now, Johnny Depp has not aged well. But at the time, based on like that moment, it was like peak Johnny Depp time. There's like intense, like dramatic costumes. There's like great monologues. There is Christopher Walken with sharpened teeth into like little razor points. It's fantastic. Oh my gosh, yes. He's Victor from the that is, like, 100% his vibe. Yeah. Um, they're doing a young Willy Wonka, and he's playing Wonka? Okay. I feel like that's really grim. I just want Hollywood to, like, make original scripts again. Is that, like, too much to ask? Something that is not based on a book, something that is not based on an existing property from other media. Like, can you just come up with your own GD original scripts? When they start doing that, I'll start going back to the theaters. Okay, thus endeth the rant. Shambly, yeah, fair. Yes, I love Sleepy Hollow. I also love his version of Sweeney Todd, which I think is a little controversial, but I do really enjoy it. Yeah, this is like Johnny Depp at peak desirability. You have bewitched me, body and soul. Yeah, he is very charismatic. Okay, yes. I'm loving this. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yes. Pay some script writers and like put some scripts into development that are not just based on existing properties. Tisha should be the male version of Helena Bottom Carter for realsies. Well, of course, Alexa, that goes without saying. I'm tired. Yes, like I know, but it's like it's a chicken or egg thing though, because like if you have I don't know, I feel like we're kind of sheep. So, like, if you forced us to come to like, if you put a ton of money into original scripts and, like, did the marketing and stuff, right? I don't know. Or just make, like, an adult drama that is, like, not that expensive to make and won't make you a ton of money, but is, not based on, like, white savior complexes in the American South or, like, the Holocaust or something. Like, have just, like, a different kind of adult drama that can be your Oscar bait, but is also, like, actually entertaining? They used to make these kinds of movies, like Moonstruck, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Like, can't I don't know. Sorry, I feel a little bit get off my lawn. Yeah, I'll get off of it. I also hate all these remakes. It's true. It's true. That is another Halloween classic. I've also been doing my Scream rewatch. Ooh, I'll tell you guys since you guys are on here. I should make can I make it live? No, I need to update the credits. So I can't put it live yet. But Sunday, I'm going to premiere my commentary video about serial killer books and like why I think I like them and why we like them with like a little history of the genre and like some discussion of like the ethics of true crime and stuff like that. I think it'll be fun. But um one of the things that I talk about in there is Scream because like every Halloween I do a original Scream trilogy rewatch. So that has been this just reminded me, like, that is my October viewing. I'm not a Hocus Pocus gal. I'm a Scream and Sleepy Hollow gal. That is true. That is true. That is also true. The marketing to Asia is a big component. Charlie Kaufman. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I'm a sheep. Like, if you market something well to me, I'll go watch it. Look at, like, Knives Out. People love that. That was original. Was properly so Cheryl, like, aware for his Walker role. Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys are too much. Yeah, I agree. Like, non-Hollywood. Yeah, fair enough. That's true. Last Night in Soho is one. There you go. Or rom-coms, yes. Start making rom-coms again. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm just girl, tell her to hook you up. Quiet Place is good and it was original. Bought my tickets for Soho. Awesome. That was not. We need more rom-coms. But they do like if they I don't know. I think that they can make an if you don't put a shit ton of money. Here's the problem too. Sorry, I'm being very old lady, get off my lawn, crotchety, but I do also have to say, if a studio has, I don't know, $500 million to put into movies for the year, and then they put 450 million of them into like two big blockbusters, it means they only have 50 million left to invest in these like smaller movies that aren't going to make as much money, but will still make good returns. Did you guys see the returns on Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia? Here we go again. Like people will turn up for them. Horror, yeah. Nostalgia. Oh, I love the original Wonka. I didn't hate the Depp version, but hello. Exactly. Kramer versus Kramer would never get made. Network would never get made today, and that is like, again, one of my top 5 favorite movies ever. I love Scream. Moonstruck is so good. If you've not seen Moonstruck, go get it. It's so good. It's Cher, and she wins an Oscar for it. Oh my gosh. Well, that's blasphemy, but okay, it's okay. We're all allowed to be wrong. Um you're oh my gosh, so wrong. I love you, Alexa, but you're so wrong. But you know what? I will grant you, it was an original script, so we'll give it that. But because of The Greatest Showman, we indirectly, The Greatest Showman is the reason we have cats. So think about that, you know. Oh my gosh, guys, I love it. Yes, there you go. It's a remake. There you go. Oh. I think you know what, Priscilla, you're probably not wrong. Premium TV dramas have probably taken kind of a lot of our cultural energy from that. You want to fix it. I'm looking forward to the sequel. Oh, Ready or Not. I need to watch that. I was like saving that for a rainy day kind of a thing. I've heard it's awesome. And also the directors of Ready or Not are the ones who are doing Scream 5. So maybe I'll put that on Halloween. That's true. Hallmark pumps out the rom-coms. People love it. So yeah, that's true. I didn't like the Depp Wonka as much as the original, but I liked it pretty well. And The Last Duel, huge money. Yeah, something. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that if you put a shit ton of money into something and then it doesn't do well, you're like SOL. I haven't seen the movie, but I didn't even hear of The Last Duel, so I know, but I love Knives Out, so I'm not as mad about that one. I'm a hypocrite. Yes, I know. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, when I tell you that I still put on commentary videos about cats from time to time because I just love watching people trying to process, like, what is this? You're not wrong, but yeah. Yeah, Netflix definitely does some rom-coms. It's true. Let's see here. Yes, I did just watch, a video, not a full essay, but like a commentary video about the original Scooby-Doo video movie live action. which I also love, like, nostalgically, because I love Scooby-Doo, and I liked it when it came out, and I just rewatched it this weekend and was like, "Yeah, I like this movie." But basically that was part of what she was talking about is, like, there's no longer any logic to which movies they turn from cartoons into live action, like, and there's not really a perspective on a lot of them. Like, I heard that the Lion King remake is literally just Lion King, but with, like, CGI'd animals, live action style, and it's like, what was the point of this other than to try to make money? Which I know is the point. I get it. I get that that's the point of Hollywood in general, but, like, I what was really, like, the aside from the fact, like, "Ooh, it's live action," what's the appeal of that? I don't know. So, anyway, that is true, Jordan Peele, that you're totally right. And both of I've seen Get Out and oh gosh, what was the second one with the doppelganger family? Us. This Is Us? Or just Us? Um, both are great. Ooh, I love Young Frankenstein. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, Cats killed big budget musicals for a while, so it'll be a hot minute, I think, till we get another one. Oh, RIP. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's not at least it's not based on something, but for bad movies, yeah, it's true. Um, yeah, I stopped watching Marvel after the first Avengers, so I've not seen one si well, wait, I take that back. I did see Doctor Strange because that was the first Doctor Strange. That was something our work was doing, but argue Cats is so bad it's good. I mean, like, I think it's enjoyable potentially. Uh, I have heard that a lot of people went to the theater high and had a pretty good time. So, that seems like that could be fun. Yeah. The Greatest Show well, Hamilton, yes, the Disney Plus, but that was just the film of the original, and then In the Heights, it sounds like underperformed, um, compared to what they were expecting, so I don't know, we'll see. Oh god, I forgot about that Emoji Movie. Oof. Yeah, that's what I thought too, like, I didn't see the live action Lion King because I was like, "This is kind of uncanny valley for me." So, I don't know. The purpose of the Disney live action is to keep that property relevant so merchandise is selling and people keep going back and watching the original. Well, that's a depressing but accurate answer. So there you go. Um, mentioning are all from the same production house, Bloomhouse. They're one of the few places that will still give someone 5 million for an original script. Well, snaps for Bloomhouse. Oh, we're getting Wicked next year? Some won't stop. They were like, "You know what? I know that Cats was an unmitigated horror nightmare show, but, let's just keep on going." Okay. West Side Story was for you guys, why? Like, again, I feel very crotchety, but, like, I love old Hollywood musicals. Some of my all-time like, a good chunk of my all-time favorite movies are, like, MGM musicals from, like, the 30s and 40s. I love a movie musical. I am so over this, like, hyper realism take on a musical because people won an Oscar. Like, I'm just not into it. I don't like it. Like, musicals can tackle serious subjects, but, like, they should be fun. Okay. This is why apparently, why I will never be successful in Hollywood, because this is just, like, not my thing. Oh. Oh, man. Chat is moving so fast, I can't keep up with it. Yeah, I think if you watch Cats drunk or high, like, that seems to be the way to go. How many civilian deaths there are in superhero shows, and that's yeah. Um The original Cats for I mean, like, the Lycra, like, 90s production, I'm into. Memory Memory slaps. I like, it is such a good song, and then, like, there's some of the songs that I can get into. There's, like, a weird horniness to the Cats show that I think is kind of, amazing. So, like, I'm not a hater of Cats per se. I just don't know that it needed to be, like, Oscar bait realism movie musical. Yeah, exactly. I think In the Heights also just suffered from the timing. So, yeah, I totally agree. I would love really well done pro versions. You could Love Never Dies, go for it. Um, Original what's one book I'd really love to see adapted? Um, well, very on brand for me. I think that the Side Changeling books would make an amazing TV show. Like, I think that would be such a good, like, high production HBO show. Um, I also could see, like, some of the different Alona Andrews series making good TV shows. I guess I'm trying to think of, like, a movie. Ooh, I mean, I think with the right production design, Black Sun from Rebecca Roanhorse would be a pretty rad movie. So I don't know. Oh, Universal is apparently just jonesing for it, so. The novel of Wicked is garbage fire, in my opinion. I hated that book. Oh, it's Steven Spielberg for West Side Story. Yeah, that's the thing. I just don't know that people can, like, how are you gonna beat the original West Side Story? I don't know. So, I don't know. Oh, that's good. I haven't seen about that, but Fear Street. Oh, yeah, okay, Kate Daniels into a T I think it would make a really good TV series. We were supposed to get Wicked first, but they bumped it back for Cats. Ooh, talk about that being ignominy. I really want to see Hadestown. I don't know anything about it. I just know that it's amazing, and I really want to see it, like, in person. So I'm trying to hold off getting spoiled for, like, anything about it until I see it in the theater at some point. Um Yeah, like Netflix. This would be amazing. Like, it needs somebody with, like, a big budget to do the, like, supernatural or, like, sci-fi elements well. So, mm, Hob hasn't been into. Yeah, that would make another good, like, Game of Thrones-esque. Well, but, like, how so much of Hob, like, what makes it special is the writing, and I don't know if you could translate that to film well. I don't know. It'd be interesting. There's gonna be a Ring Shout adaptation? Okay, like, I'm all over that. Oh, yeah, the Evan Hansen musical. Yeah, see, there's been so many awful movie musicals recently. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's totally true. There's so many good adaptations, like, thriller adaptations you could have. Um, okay, I'm glad everybody else is agreeing on the book Wicked. I tried, but I was like, "This is awful." I mean, I'm sure Alexa does not disagree. Oh, lucky duck. Yeah, I'm just like, if it's an I just don't like, we don't need an adaptation of, like, Casablanca. So why would I need an adaptation of, you know, The Wizard of Oz? Like, why? Um, yes, the exact same. I haven't watched Evan Hansen the film, but Jenny Nicholson's commentary had me in stitches. Exactly. I, my so well, fun fact, last year, Santa brought me an extremely fancy bidet. Um, and I had some issues with it, so I got a new one from the manufacturer. So whilst I was installing all of that, I had the Evan Hansen commentary video on. And I was like, this feels like an appropriate thing to be working, like doing a home maintenance project on the toilet whilst listening to something about Evan Hansen, because that seems like it is awful. Um, Feelers Ever After. Yes, I just think it would be so good. It is perfect, and, like, you don't need a remake if the original is perfect. What's your idea? Thought of a guilty pleasure. Oh, no, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. Like, I mean, again, we're on a dying planet. At least here in the US, our democracy is slowly dying around us. We're in the middle of a personal pan pizza. Like, if you can find a moment of pleasure that doesn't hurt anybody else on this in this terrible world, like, take it. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for something you enjoy. And people who, like, try to make other people feel bad for liking something, like, I mean, it's all in good fun. Like, I was giving Alexa shit earlier about liking The Greatest Showman, but, like, I'm not talking about that. Like, you of course, you can, disagree and, josh around about likes and dislikes, but in general, like, if like, people who make it a part of their personality to try to make other people feel bad about liking something that they just enjoy, I just don't respect. So don't believe in the concept of guilty pleasure. Take your pleasure where you can find it. Carpe diem. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. No, no, that's fair. And then, like, there are some good songs on there, and I feel like there's a lot of the songs, I just don't think it works as a musical, and I don't understand why they decided to, like, lionize P.T. Barnum of all people, like, why? Um, but, like, the songs themselves, I think, are fun, and, like, they make very good TikTok backgrounds. So, oh my gosh, it's so true. Jenny talks about him being an adult man in a costume of one of the Stranger Things kids is so accurate. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think the pitches, yeah, it's true. There's a lot of nostalgia driven. Yeah, party poopers. Every party has a pooper. That's why we invited you, party pooper. George Banks. Hey, Bree. What's NFT? It is a non-fungible token. There you go. Pete, yeah, exactly. There's a really good episode of Musical Splaining, which is Lindsay Ellis's podcast with her friend Kava, and they had Jenny Nicholson on, and that was the exact point they made. Like, they should have just made a fake, um, a fake circus man, and then you would have just like totally elided the need to get into any of his horrible backstory. So, yeah. Oh, I didn't even know they had a new one coming out. Well, I should probably start winding up because, I'm an old lady. Um, and had a long day. So, and I've been, oh my gosh, guys, I've had this week, I have 3-day workshop trying to solution phase 2 of this thing we're working on. And I can feel my brain like melting. So, um, yeah, this is basically how I felt about Greatest Showman of like, I like some of these songs, but it's not really like a story. Um, yes. Yeah, fake circus man. Yeah, yeah, even now. Oh my gosh, Brie, you're such a good hype woman. Thank you. Yes, hit the like button if you want my message of world domination to spread. Yeah, we covered it all. Well, yeah, anyway, I just felt like I hadn't done a live in a while. So thanks for hopping on and listening to me lecture you about not losing your money to quasi scammy cryptocurrency or an NFT ploys from influencers, and letting me gripe about the lack of original scripts in Hollywood. Also, I'm trying to think if I had like one musical remake, what would I want to see? Well, on Musical Splaining, they did pitch the idea of a Twister the movie as a musical, and that I would love to see. Like if they adapted the movie Twister starring Queen Helen Hunt, um, like if they made that into a musical, I would be all over that. So we'll put that out there. Um, yes, world domination everywhere. Yes, thank you guys for joining. Oh, good. Just get some sleep. And try not to let the rain sweep you away. It seems like there's flooding nonsense over there. So, yes, this was fun, guys. Thank you. Have a great night. Oh my gosh, I love Twister so much. Unironically, like one of my all-time favorite movies. So much nostalgia for me. Okay, guys, have a good one, and I will catch you on the flippity flop. Bye.